So opportunities बहुत हैं, तो आपको just अपने आप को explore करना है कि what you are expecting, कि आपको क्या चाहिए exactly. So just मैं अगर इसी discussion की बातें चल रही है, तो placements के लिए जो one of the most famous IITs है, IIT बॉम्बे की तरफ चलते हैं, तो शिखा दास हमारे पास है. She is in IIT Bombay and she will guide us all the procedure how to get into IIT Bombay and life at IIT Bombay. Okay, Shikha, welcome.
Hello everyone, my name is Shikha Das and my rank was 314 in the year 2018. Currently I am pursuing electrical engineering in IIT Bombay and my specialization is electronic systems. So let's begin with why I chose what I did. Ever since class 12th, I guess, I wanted to get into an IIT. Each one of us goes through that. Each one of us writes the JE, and my scores were borderline. I couldn't get into anything through them. So that was one thing which I couldn't achieve in life, and that was always in my mind. So then I got to know about this GATE, and I decided that this is something which would lead me to achieve what I wanted to. So then my aim had always been an IIT. Why IIT Bombay? Because Bombay shahar hai ye. What else can I say? IIT Bombay is known for its placements, its co-curricular activities mainly, which was what attracted me the most. So let's go on with my experience. So I was called, I think the call went to gate score 650 during that time for RA interviews. In IIT, in IIT Bombay specifically, there is no such thing as MS. There is RA. RA is research assistant. There are two types of research assistants. One is institute RA and the other is project RA. So the institute RAs are ones which look after all the labs in the IIT, and the project RAs work under their professor guide on a project. Now, now when you go for it, the first thing that you will have to go through is the written test. In the written test, there are 3 sections, and it is common for both electrical and electronics. In the first is common. There are 3 sections. The first section is common. The other 2 are core for each branches. And each electronics and electrical people can attempt all of those. There is no such restriction as to which that electrical are supposed to attempt electrical itself. Your written score and your gate score are parameters which define whether you would be shortlisted for the interview or not. Once you are shortlisted for the interview, the next day all the interviews occur, and it may also extend to the day after. So let's come to the interviews. The shortlisting is done for IRAs and PRAs separately, but you can also get shortlisted for both. So I was shortlisted for both, but I went for PRA interviews because because there is lab exam for IRA and I wasn't very confident in that. So for PRA interviews, in my time there was this, that each professor was conducting interviews for their own project. So whatever project the professor is guiding, you have, there was this conference room where several interviews were going simultaneously. So we were asked to fill 5 preferences, and according to our preference orders, we got to go for the interviews. So one of my first interview went for an hour, and that was the most nerve-wracking experience I couldn't tell you, because I didn't think that I was prepared for it. The project that I was interviewing for was architecting intelligent dependable systems using artificial intelligence and IoT. So as an electrical person, for someone who hasn't delved into software too much, artificial intelligence was this huge deal in my brain. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? And machine learning was a prerequisite for it. I had no experience in machine learning whatsoever. So I go for this interview, and the first thing they start questioning me about is digital electronics. Now, they made a gate which I had never seen, a sort of gate, and they asked me whether it is fundamental gate or not, whether it's the and or not, whether this can act as a universal gate or not. So I said no, definitely. With the first look I gave it, excuse me, I'm sorry. So the first time I saw it, the first answer I gave was no, it's not. They asked me to think more about it. Just calm yourself and think. Then I started applying all the concepts which were in my mind, and later on I came across this conclusion that yes, this is a universal gate. Now, just because there is something which we have been taught throughout our lives, and that's the norm to us, doesn't mean that that's the only thing which exists. That's the first thing I learned through my interview. That don't just judge things from what you can see. Think about it more. And I think that's one quality which professors of IIT look for in the candidate. They see whether the candidate can take guidance properly, and whether they can perform under pressure and stuff like that. And I think that's true for every interview. What makes IIT interviews different is that they do not disregard you just from your first answer. They would help you. They are going to keep poking you until you reach the answer that they want from you. So, like I mentioned before, that I didn't know anything about machine learning. And they asked me a question from machine learning. I'm not going to get into the details because it would be very long, but there was this question and I didn't know anything. And so they continued guiding me, and it went on for half an hour for one question. And they don't have that much time. Why would that one professor spend this much time on me just to guide me to get me to solve one question? But that's what they look for in you. So just go on. Do not give up. Do not say that I don't know the answer. Just keep trying. And that's the key to crack IIT interviews. Just keep trying. They just want to see whether you are curious enough to to reach the bottom of a problem. And that's what you're going to do in research. You are going to go to the bottom of the problem statement that you are given. So you have to be curious enough. That's one thing. Now let me tell you about the other interviews that I gave. This was the interview this was the project that I was chosen for, and I'm glad because this was my first preference. But I'll come to the other interviews that I gave. I gave total of 4 interviews. So the second interview I gave was for an analog stream. Now, the first thing that the professor asked me when I when I sat on the chair was, do you have your BTech project with you? And there was no such thing mentioned that you have to bring your thesis with you and like you have to bring up synopsis, nothing. Like you have to take those in IIT Delhi, but nothing of that sort was asked in IIT Bombay. And I did have my thesis, but I was so underconfident that I didn't take it with me. Because let's be honest, none of us have done anything in our BTech project. So I didn't take it with me. And the first thing he told me was, I said no, that I don't have it with me. So the first thing he told me was that, see, from here I can judge you, because if had you done your work sincerely, you would have shown it off. But since you don't have it with you, I can say that you might have not done it as much, you might not have worked as much as you should have. So there goes all my confidence, and I became so nervous that I started shaking there itself. Then he started asking me questions from my BTech thesis itself. Like he started asking me, what did you make? Draw the block diagram, explain each and every step to me. He asked me what Wi-Fi module I use, which number. I didn't know anything. I was clueless, and that's a very basic thing. If you have worked on a project, you would know what components you have used. And that was really shameful for me at that point, that even though I hadn't worked on it, why couldn't I tell him? And then he went on asking me about things like, why have you used this particular thing? Why not something else? So, even that interview went on for 45 minutes or something, and I knew that I'm not going to get into this, but the professor wasn't letting me go. And that's the one thing I'm the most scared of, because they are going to make you, not intentionally, but you might feel lacking in some aspects because of the way you will be asked questions and all that. So the suggestion is that you prepare for each and everything that you're going to say over there. If your BTech thesis is a must, if you have or haven't worked on the project, just start now. It doesn't take long. It takes about 3 days, and you can know everything there is regarding it, because you don't have to make it from scratch. So BTech thesis is the first thing. The second thing comes your favorite subjects. They can ask you anything from your favorite subjects, and it doesn't limit to the GATE syllabus. But yeah, GATE syllabus is a must. So if you're going to say control systems, signal systems, whatever, you have to make sure that whatever there was in your GATE syllabus, you know each and every aspect of that. Now let's go to the written exam. I'll sort of give you a overview of what all is asked. So I told you that there is a section where common questions from both electrical and electronics is asked. So what you have to do is, the questions are GATE level, may be slightly easier or tough. There's not much difference. But you have to make sure that you write everything clearly, because it's sort of a conventional based test. So prepare for that. I didn't prepare for conventional, so I lost quite a number of marks because I didn't draw diagrams and waveforms and all that. So prepare for that. That's what I would like to say for written exams. And what else? For I told you about interviews. Let's come to the other IITs first. So I went for IIT Delhi and IISc Bangalore. These are the only two that I went for. I had a preference in mind when while I was preparing for all of this. The first was the branch Computational and Data Science in IISc Bangalore, and the second was this IIT Bombay. So when I went to IISc Bangalore, I went for this Computational and Data Science. I gave the written exam, and I was feeling pretty confident that, okay, I'm going to score around 8 out of 8 and 8.5 out of 10 and all that. So maybe I'll get 2 and all that. Then when the results came during the evening, whether I'm going to be shortlisted for the interview or not, I was shocked to know that each and every person who was shortlisted had a score of 10 in IISc. And that was a sort of hitting a bottom point for me, because I couldn't even clear the written. And what I would like to, what I learned from this is that even when you are thinking too much about one thing, that even I have done really well according to myself, and I'm going to get through in this, I'm going to rock it or whatever, just take a good look at the people around you and at yourself, whether you are prepared for it or not. And it's okay if you couldn't get through. That's what I had to explain to myself again and again, because this was going through my brain, that I couldn't get through a written exam. What am I going to do with my life and all that? And it's not that big a deal. So just make sure that you have prepared your best. And even if you are, if you couldn't get through, there are so many other IITs. I am glad that in the end, I'm at IIT Bombay and not at ISC, because of a very huge reason, which is the many activities which there are in IIT Bombay. There might be co-curricular activities in other IITs as well. But one thing that I can tell you about Bombay is that it teaches you how to do each and everything professionally. So I have always been confused about what I actually want to do with my life. I have gone through things just listening to my seniors, listening to my parents. They have asked me to, look, this looks good, go for it. This looks good, go for that. So just listening to others, we throw ourselves into something and we don't know whether we are meant for that or not. Is that something which I actually want to do in life? And I had that same thoughts going through my brain. What am I actually meant for? What should I do with my life? I can't just be an employee in a, I don't know, in a company or what. That doesn't, one thing I want in life is recognition for something. That's my personal thing. So what is it that will give me recognition? I still haven't reached that answer. So, but one thing which I have learned is that whatever you can, whatever life throws at you, you will definitely be prepared for it once you have passed an IIT. In my first semester in the IIT, I'm from electrical branch and my stream is electronic systems. I'm mentioning this again because I had a lot of problems dealing with it in the first 2 months of the semester. The things which we were taught were totally on the side of VLSI and all that. And I have it as an electrical student, I didn't learn it with as much interest during my BTech years. And I was behind in all my classes and it was sort of hitting a low point and all that again. And to escape from that, I came across these clubs in IIT which help you improve your talent. They help you find what you are talented in. So I joined Fourth Wall Club in IIT Bombay, which is the dramatics club, and I saw another aspect to me. I got to be someone, a character which I am not, and it helped me get through with my academics. And that's what I would want to put emphasis on, that even though you go to PSUs and you get to do what you love in life, but there is a slight chance that you might not be able to put everything into this career which you never thought you wanted. For example, I never thought that I would really love dramatics and all that. And I don't think that I could have gone into that if I were in a PSU. But in IIT, you get enough time that you can do anything else you want, and you can also change your career from now on, whenever you decide. So that's a very good aspect. I would also like to say that don't just follow the path that has been laid on for you by other people. Try to look out of the box. Try to see what else is there. I know we all are engineers, we all have studied engineering, but it doesn't mean that you have to go for a PSU or a multinational company or something. Just go for whatever has irked your interests, whatever has captured your interests since you were a kid. And that has been dramatics for me. So find what helps you the most. That's all I would like to say. Thank you.